Yeah. So the next one that I was thinking about was the Flat Earth Convention,
Oh, jeez.
which is just
Yeah.
basically people who believe the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, we did a podcast on Flat Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and I honestly thought everyone was just going to rip on it.
Yeah.
But you read the comments. There were
Yeah.
people in there fighting for it.
Yeah.
They were saying that if you got anywhere close to the ice wall, that warships and fighter planes would come out and get you.
Yeah.
And they were saying, what was the other thing? We said that there was no pictures of the ice wall, and then they said that there was a ton of pictures of the ice wall.
Yeah. Well, of course, they only said that. They didn't provide any pictures. Like,
Yeah. I never saw any pictures.
yeah.
Although they claimed that we could just Google it.
yeah.
Which is what I was doing when I decided that we should talk about Flat Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can see some artist renderings of ice wall, of course, but, where are the actual pictures of that?
Yeah, and I'm sure that there are walls made of ice somewhere that you could take a picture of, but it's not the ice wall.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, basically they believe that the Earth is flat, and it is, I guess we were calling it last time, was pizza shaped,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the center of the pizza, or the center of Earth, would be the North Pole.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is no South Pole.
Yeah. Right.
There is the ice wall.
Yeah. Yeah. yeah.
It's just, I don't get it.
So is that what they talk about in this convention?
Yeah, and there's been plenty of news coverage of it.
Okay.
And basically their booths are set up with, a lot of them anyway. I mean, some people are selling things like representations of what they believe that the Earth looks like, a flat Earth.
Yeah.
But then some of them are just set up with experiments that they believe proves that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
And they'll do things like one booth had it was a bucket of water with a beach ball floating in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then patrons were encouraged to spin the ball, and then they would ask, see, why would water stick to the bottom of this ball?
Yeah. Yeah. Golly, man. It's just, amazing sometimes. Like, that's not even the accurate representation of the Earth, Like, if it was somehow raining in space, I don't know, just how.
Well, not to mention
just
that,
so
that
ridiculous.
the entire experiment is done on Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, the beach ball has its own gravity, but it's right next to Earth, which has more gravity.
Yeah.
But then they pass out pamphlets, and they have speeches and talks.
Yeah.
And they talk about how the Bible says the Earth is flat. Now, I've read the Bible.
Yeah.
I don't remember the flat Earth section. Do you?
No.
Okay. Do you remember anything from the Bible that says that the Earth is flat?
No. Unless somehow they are taking into account like the flood.
Well, no. See, what they were saying, and the parts that I've read, say things like when the Bible refers to the firmament or
okay, yeah,
the area above us, basically, they say that is direct reference to the dome that we're in.
Okay.
So basically, in their world, we're on a flat pizza, and there's a dome over us to hold the air in. Of course,
yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not buying that. Sorry.
That's the other thing they say, though. They'll say that space is obviously fake. And that can be proved because how is there a vacuum right next to a non-vacuum?
Okay.
Like on Earth, there's air, there's oxygen, what we're breathing. And then in space, there's nothing. How do those two coexist side by side?
Yeah.
But it's a gradient.
Yeah. It's not like a jump from one to the other. It's
Right. Like,
there's an atmosphere. Like,
yes. Yeah. and it's almost like when you go, you've been at a place that has a high altitude, like a mountain or something somewhere. Okay, yeah. And it's harder to breathe because there's less air.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, around the International Space Station, the ISS, there is atmosphere. It's just very, 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 very thin.
Yeah.
Like there's like one particle over there and one particle over there.
Yeah.
And it's not like here where there's just
Yeah.
billions or trillions of particles on like,
Yeah.
a small area.
Yeah, and I think the key is you kind of just said it. You said International Space Station. So like there's an International Space Station like above the Earth. There is an International Space Station. Like to pull off a hoax of a flat Earth, like the entire world has to be involved. But we have an International Space Station. It's not just like it's the U.S. Space Station where there can be like, yeah, they're gonna be projecting some fake images. Like, is International Space Station up there?
Yeah, and we talked about this before, and I kind of made the joke of, like, if we didn't like each other and you were in on a hoax and I knew it was a hoax, I would just screw you over and tell the world it's a hoax.
Yeah.
So why would two nations that don't get along both believe the Earth is round?
Yeah.
But either way, so they have their own conventions, they have their own talks.
Yeah.
They have their own guests and they have their own stars. There are people that have risen in the community that have their own like internet shows and do videos and stuff. One of them is this guy named Mark Sargent, and he has done a lot of things. He's got stuff on YouTube. He speaks at these conventions. He also, I think he did like I want to call it a radio show, but maybe a more accurate term would be podcast. But several interviews that have been done with like what I would call like conventional news outlets, non-social media groups. Whenever they interviewed this guy, Mark Sargent, they always end up asking him, or they normally end up asking, I should say, if he really believes in it. Because there's a lot of... well, you just have to see some of these interviews. They talk to him, and he's got just this look on his face, like he's pulling one over.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I gotta tell you, after I've seen a bunch of these, I start thinking, yeah, does he believe?
Yeah.
Maybe he's just doing it for friends and clout and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the Flat Earth Society convention back in 2020 had a huge guest star. Did you hear about this? It's Logan Paul.
Oh.
And so Logan Paul was shooting videos from his point of view.
Yeah.
And he just shot a whole bunch of videos that says, I don't know, what they're saying is very interesting. I don't know. I think there's more that needs to be looked into, they've got some very interesting thoughts on this. And he went and he listened to them and he participated. And then at the very end, they asked him if he believes if the earth is flat.
Yeah.
He just goes, hell no, man. Come on, it's round. Everyone knows that. But he had them going for like months. And they were all psyched, like we got a superstar who believes this. But there's also been other people, and I wonder if any of these people have ever been to this convention. Because wasn't it the artist B.O.B.? Didn't he believe the earth was flat?
Yeah.
And then there's been a couple athletes. What was it Kyrie Irving?
Kyrie Irving. That's
yeah.
Right. Yep.
And I just wonder, like, I think those people legitimately believe it. Logan Paul was taking him for a ride.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they go after one of these people to get them to talk?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they don't want to necessarily go that public with their views on it. I know Kyrie Irving got some backlash.
Because it's stupid.
Yeah.
Let's just call it for what it is.
Yeah.
There is no evidence.
Yeah.
And there is just a mountain of evidence saying the other thing.
Yeah.
Not to mention, pictures from the moon and
and
pictures from space.
And I think that one of the NBA like show hosts ended up calling him out. Like, didn't you go to Duke University?
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous. If I was Duke, I would be embarrassed.